everybody, and welcome to the Los Angeles City Council meeting for Wednesday, July 11th, year 2001. City Council meets Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. and can be viewed on City View Channel 35 or heard on City Phone. Rebroadcast of the council meetings take place at 7 p.m. also on Channel 35. Madam Clerk, first order of business.
The roll: Bernson, Galanter, Garcetti, Hahn, Holden, Misikowski, Pacheco, Perry, Reyes, Ridley Thomas, Wex, Weiss, Zine, Padilla. 10 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. First item.
Approval of the minutes.
Mr. Garcetti moves. Ms. Misikowski seconds.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Mr. Reyes moves. Ms. Perry seconds.
Before beginning the regular agenda, Mr. President, there are 2 items to continue. Items 5 and 6, a request on item number 5 from Building and Safety, and item number 10 from Councilmember Ridley Thomas's office to continue those items to August 1st.
Members, there's been a request to continue both items number 5 and number 10. Without objection, those items are continued.
On the regular agenda, items noticed for public hearing, items 1 and 2 are both public hearings relative to street lighting districts. Council should open the public hearings and continue the hearings and ordinances to August 1st.
Public hearing is deemed open, and we will continue those items.
Item 3, Mr. President, is a confirmation of a street lighting district assessment, and there is an ordinance. 12 members are expected today. Do you wish to hold that on the desk?
Let's hold that item on the desk and await 12 members.
Items 4 and 6 through 9 are building and safety assessment appeals. Those are public hearing items also.
Public hearing is open on those items, and I see no speaker cards on those items. Any members of the public wishing to speak on those items, please submit your cards. Otherwise, we shall close the public hearing. Are we ready to vote on those items, Madam Clerk?
Yes, Mr. President.
Members, items 4 and 6 through 10, or excuse me, 6 through 9 are before us. Any members wishing to speak? Seeing none, clerk, please open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
Those items are approved. Next item.
Next items, Mr. President, items for which public hearings have been held, items 11 and 12. Item 11 has an ordinance. Do you wish to hold that one also?
Let's hold that on the desk as well.
Item number 12 is our 2 committee reports on the file. I understand that Mr. Weiss has a motion on that.
On item number 12.
Mr. President, I would
button,
ask...
please. Your speaker button. The yellow, there you go. Chair recognizes Mr. Weiss.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would ask that with respect to item number 12, it be received and filed, and I would note that item 13 supersedes the action on item 12.
Okay, is that receive and file both reports on item number 12? I believe that's the appropriate action.
Yes.
Any other members wishing to speak on item number 12? Motion is to receive and file both reports. Clerk, please open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That item is received and filed.
Mr. President, 12 members are present now. Do you wish to go back and take the ordinances on 3 and 11?
Let us do that. Items 3 and 11 members, 12 members present. These are ordinances. Any members wishing to speak? Seeing none, clerk, please open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Those items are approved.
Next items, Mr. President, items for which public hearings have not been held, items 13 through 15.
Items 13 through 15 before us. Public hearing is open. No requests to speak from members of the public have been submitted. We shall close the public hearing. Members wishing to speak on items 13 through 15? Seeing none, let me also clarify there are 2 items on file number, item number 15. Recommendation is to adopt both. Clerk, please open the roll on items 13 through 15. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Those items are approved.
Next item, Mr. President, on the continued agenda, item number 16, item for which public hearing has been held.
Colleagues, item number 16 is before us. Continued, I believe, from yesterday. The chair recognizes Mr. Reyes.
I'd like to call 16 special, please.
Well, it's before us now.
Okay. Just like to make an adjustment. It's a technical adjustment on 16. On 1A, to change delegate authority to the CRA to the administrator of the CRA to initiate actions as appropriate.
Okay, there's a verbal amendment on the floor. Other members wishing to speak? Chair recognizes Mr. Holden.
What's the amendment again? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you on that.
It's basically a technical change, language. On 1A, delegating authority to the CRA is the current language. And
It's the
just changing
current
it
language,
to-
right?
Well,
Yeah.
to change it to delegate authority to the administrator of the CRA.
Oh, okay. I think I called this special last week and held it over until the new administration was sworn in. And yesterday, I ascertained from them as whether or not they had any problem with this measure, and obviously they don't, and therefore we're moving forward because the administrator would have a lot more authority than they have right now. The commission has the authority today, or the board does, but if you grant that to the administrator, then that means the administrator can act without any consideration as to what the board would do, although we would have Prop 5 authority, but that's what he wants. Let it go.
Any other members wishing to speak on item number 16? We have before us item number 16 as amended. Clerk, please open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
That item is approved.
Next item, Mr. President, also on the continued agenda, item number 17 is an item for which public hearing has not been held, and it was continued from yesterday's meeting.
Okay. Item number 17 is before us. I believe Councilmember Pacheco requested a one-day continuance yesterday. His questions have now been answered. Any other members wishing to speak? Seeing none, clerk, please open the roll on item number 17. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
That item is approved.
Next item, Mr. President, is an item not on the agenda, a special motion introduced by Councilmember Pacheco, and the city attorney will explain the need to make the findings.
Madam City Attorney?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a special reward motion the police department has asked for. They are investigating the shooting injury of Elizabeth Thomas, who was 12 years old. It happened on July 8th, and they're asking for the reward so that the community, if there are any leads, the community will come forward. Therefore, the council needs to make the findings that the need to act arose after the posting of the agenda and that there's an immediate need to act.
Mr. Pacheco, did you wish to speak on the findings or on the item? Ms. Galanter, same question. Okay. Clerk, please open the roll on the findings. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
The item is now before us. The chair recognizes Mr. Pacheco.
Mr. President, colleagues, this is a motion to try to solicit some support or entice some individuals to step forward. This is a reward motion for a very tragic incident involving two gangs that were basically shooting at each other in front of 1923 and 1922 Pennsylvania in Ball Heights. So we're just simply asking to authorize the sum of $25,000 for reward to hopefully get some leads and information so we can solve this tragic incident with a 12-year-old who's currently very seriously injured. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pacheco. Ms. Galanter, did you wish to speak on this item? Okay, probably bumped it by accident, that's fine. Any other members wishing to speak? Seeing none, please open the roll on the item, special number 1. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
That item is approved. Chair recognizes Mr. Holden, and forthwith on the special item, there's also been a request forthwith on item number 17, please. Mr. Holden.
Mr. President, members, I'm going to respectfully request that we reconsider item 26 on last Wednesday's agenda, reconsider for the purpose of referring it back to the Budget and Finance Committee, and have them review whether or not there are ways and means to indemnify the city should such problem arise. It's a harmless motion, won't do us any harm, I so request.
Mr. Holden, could you describe the item to refresh our memories, please?
Oh, the item was receive and file that says that the city would be held harmless, and there's an agreement between the contractor and the city should any lawsuits should arise out of that development project. And I asked the city attorney whether or not that was the case. In case they declared bankruptcy or they went out of business, then who would be the deep pockets? That had not been discussed. And so for that purpose, it won't do any harm to send it back to committee and have the city attorney draft some kind of agreement if that should become an eventuality to guarantee that the city will be protected.
Madam City Attorney or Madam Clerk, could you help us out here on the rules? There was no meeting last Wednesday.
That's right.
I do recall the item. There was no meeting last Friday.
The rule is that you can reconsider an item at the next legislative date. Yeah, yesterday.
Yesterday's agenda. Okay.
Yesterday, yeah.
Okay.
If it was yesterday, then you could reconsider it today.
Right.
Item number 26.
Yes, right.
Any other members wishing to speak on reconsideration? Ms. Galanter. Chair recognizes Ms. Galanter.
Ask for a no vote. Dealt with this yet?
Well, may I speak to the motion then, if you want to?
Okay. Clerk, please note Ms. Misikowski has chambers.
The motion was, yesterday was the receive and file. And there's no harm, no file, if the city is going to be protected. For the life of me, I cannot understand what harm it would be to reconsider this matter, refer it back to committee, keep it open for the purpose of having the city attorney continue discussion with the developer that would in fact guarantee that the city is indemnified in case we are faced with a lawsuit. What is wrong with that?
Thank you. Ms. Galanter.
Well, we did go through this yesterday. The city attorney, who's not here at the moment, I believe, was here yesterday, who explained that the city would not be liable for anything except the areas that would become city property, which is the streets and roadways. And some of you will remember we had a hearing on this yesterday, and Mr. Holden wound up saying, let's receive and file it.
No.
As long as, yes, you did, I heard you, I was listening carefully. As long as it was clearly understood that the city would not be liable for anything that happened on the private property. Mr. Holden also argued, I'm going to show you I was listening to you, also argued that people who might be injured on the private property would turn around and sue the city. In any case, when people can sue the city all the time over everything, it doesn't mean the city is liable. The city attorney told us the only liability we would have, if any, would be if something went wrong with the streets and highways and the land that was actually to become city property. And I thought we disposed of it yesterday. It's not as if we won't have many more opportunities to argue about Playa Vista. It is going to come back and back and back in one form or another. I would just urge that we not rehash the things we've already done. We'll have plenty of opportunities to deal with plenty more in the future.
Chair recognizes Mr. Holden.
Ms. Galanter, if what you say is correct, then you still should not have any problem with letting this matter go back to Budget and Finance and have the city attorney answer questions that she did not answer yesterday that I didn't think of at the time, or I would have referred it back to Budget and Finance. And the question was, what happens if this company do one or two things, or both, declare bankruptcy, go out of business, which will happen once this project is done? Would they have a permanent agreement in place with the homeowners association that they would then therefore indemnify the city, because the responsibility is transferred to the subsequent owner by law? And if you're not familiar with that, that's in fact the case. And I would suggest to you that it does us no harm to have this go back to Budget and Finance, raise the issue with the city attorney once again, and let them make the decision whether or not we are, that indemnification will be transferred to the subsequent owner, which was not answered affirmatively yesterday.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Holden. Members, there's a motion to reconsider the item from yesterday's agenda. We're waiting Mr. Burnson to re-enter chambers. The motion before us is to reconsider the item from yesterday's agenda. Clerk, please open the roll on the reconsideration. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
7 ayes, 5 noes.
Motion fails. Next item, please.
This is the time for comments from the public on items not on the agenda under council jurisdiction.
Okay, and believe it or not, there are no cards. Where's Melrose Larry Green when you need him? That closes the public comment period for today's meeting. Next item, please.
Motions for posting and referral.
Those motions shall be posted and referred.
Council has excuses on the desk. Councilmember Zine requests to be excused Friday, July 13th to leave at 11 a.m. City business. Motion is required.
Mr. Garcetti moves, Ms. Hahn seconds.
That clears the desk, Mr. President.
Members, any announcements? Adjournment requests? Seeing none, in record time, this meeting is adjourned. See you all on Friday.
You are watching LA City View, Channel 35. Your city, your channel.